All right, welcome to another exciting episode of Gripping Golf Podcast. I'm your host, Billy Daniels. Always with me along my left side today is Dave Miller. How are you doing today, Dave?
I'm great, Billy. Thank you.
It's a chilly morning here in Kansas City.
It doesn't feel like golf season is near.
And we've done something that we don't normally do very often, but that's we've ventured over to the Missouri side.
That's right.
Yeah, and we're here at Blue Hills Country Club, which is phenomenal, and we've got Rick Amos.
Correct.
Famous
Amos, you got it.
Rick Amos, he's the tournament director for one of the stops on the Korn Ferry Tour here at the AdventHealth Championship. So, Rick, let the listeners and viewers know who you are.
Well, good morning, guys. Thanks for dragging me out on a Sunday morning at 6 degrees. It's beautiful out. Hey, we're looking at a beautiful course. It hasn't quite started to turn yet with the weather's not quite warm enough, as Dave would know is in his expertise. But, so welcome to Blue Hills. It's great to have you guys out here and just show you a little bit from the inside what we'll be doing in May for the AdventHealth Championship.
Man, so it's just right around the corner. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, I remember we were emailing back in February or maybe even January. Now it feels like, gosh, this is right around the corner. 60 days or so?
Yeah, it's daunting. It's daunting. I actually think we're under 60 days. I think we're 8 weeks tomorrow, which is 8 times 7, 56. So we're there. This is when you start looking at Gary Lezak's long range forecast. 50 days, his whatever he calls it, to see what the weather might be like. I've been looking at the long range forecast for 90 days, or since 90 days out, and we'll see if it's accurate or not. But so it's great to have you guys out here. Thanks for venturing to the Mo side. I know we all had to drive over here this morning. It's a beautiful setting to be sitting here with the sun shining. I mean, it feels like it's 80, but it's because we're inside with the sun shining down.
And I saw as I was setting things up, were there golfers, were those juniors going out there to hit golf balls or something?
They've got the new indoor winter hitting base here, and I'm sure they've got all the technology in there to hit. You can probably, one of them's probably playing Augusta in there this morning or something like that. So but I'm sure they have lessons. They've got a great junior program, and Carlton out here at Blue Hills has just got, he does a great job with juniors, and I'm sure, kids are up a lot earlier than us, so they're probably wanting to come out and hit balls inside this morning. I would not be outside hitting them.
Yeah, no, and it's maybe a little bit of madness going in, on the outside. And saying that, I mean, I don't know if I can typically, we might get sued now that I've said, I'll just say spring madness. if you're familiar with basketball, I think it's something associated with that. We've got some games going on.
There might be some juniors that were Mizzou or KU fans that are out there taking out a little frustration this morning.
They got nothing better to do now.
Right. It's golf season. It's golf season. So.
Well, I learned a couple things from you. You're really good at math. You broke it down. It was 56 days till the tournament starts, or I think is that what you said? And then, but you have a pretty diverse background in getting into these tournaments. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's crazy. I've been in sports now since 2000. I started with the Royals, so I've done the gamut. I've been with the Royals. I've been with Sporting Kansas City. I've been with Learfield IMG at KU and doing some sports marketing there, and then I landed in the golf world working for now called AdventHealth Sports.
Sports.
We were previously Bruno Event Team. We just rebranded, and so we are definitely in the event and sports world. We have 5 events in conjunction with the PGA Tour we run. We have some IndyCar. We do a lot of college game day stuff. We're based in Birmingham, Alabama, so we'll do game day stuff for Alabama. I have to say at times Roll Tide, but it does not go well with me saying Roll Tide. But they did roll last night, so you go. There you go. But anyway, so we were very heavy into sports and event operations and management. We came through COVID. One of the things we did during the pandemic was we pivoted and we ran back to school, back to university, college testing sites in Alabama, and it's kind of what we all just did during the pandemic to keep businesses viable. So, but back to the golf world, AdventHealth Sports, we've got 5 events in conjunction with the PGA Tour. We have 2 Korn Ferry, Kansas City, and then Springfield, Illinois. We have Champions Tour events. We have the Regions, which has been around for a lot of years down in Birmingham, Alabama at our headquarters. And then we have actually just 3 hours up the road near my hometown, we have the Principal Charity Classic in Des Moines. And then I'm lucky enough to be on the travel team, or have been on the travel team for the Bermuda Championship. So, which will be late October, November this year. So we're very heavy in the golf space. We're always looking to grow our business, but it's a very unique model. The way it works. The PGA Tour typically looks for either host organizations. You look at like Waste Management. Yeah. You've got the Thunderbirds down there, and they run that event. That's a host organization. Champ Management, the tour will run some events, but then the most popular now are management companies that come in and own and operate. So we actually have kind of a tri-party agreement between the club here at Blue Hills, the PGA Tour / Korn Ferry Tour, and then AdventHealth Sports. And really, it all comes down to all three prongs of that stool are important, but most important is the club. You have to have a great membership with the country club that's going to host your course, because you do come in and you do take it over for a week and a couple extra weeks in front when you're building structures, and then we could not have a better partnership than we have here at Blue Hills. The GM Mr. Fairman, and his staff are just fabulous when it comes to owning and operating, and just knowing that hey, we're going to put on a world-class event here in Kansas City, which is really our goal. We are in a very competitive market here in Kansas City when it comes to sports and entertainment, with everything. I would argue that on the Korn Ferry Tour, we're probably one of the most diverse markets when it comes to sports and entertainment and business development and entertaining clients and all the stuff we do. So, you've got to have that whole formula there of a good club. And obviously for us, most recently is a great title sponsor in AdventHealth. They're becoming very heavy. They're heavy in NASCAR space down in the Florida region and that type stuff. And they also sponsor the race here. But Advent in their mission of whole life, whole person, whole health, just this golf space fits very well with them, and they've been a great partner. Now we're starting our third year of this partnership as a title sponsor of this event. That's
amazing. So, and it's been 3 years out here at Blue Hills too?
So we actually were KC Golf Classic in 2019 when we landed here. Pandemic hit. We did not have an event in 20, and then in 21 we rolled into, we announced the title sponsorship in February of 21 and became the AdventHealth Championship. So this will be our third event as the AdventHealth Championship.
That's awesome. Yeah, well done. I learned a couple things. You love everything that you just said, and just talk about one thing that struck me is I think people don't understand how much effort it truly takes to get one of these tournaments going. And one thing that I want to ask is, like, you mentioned setting stuff up out on the golf course. What are you setting up? I know there's the bleachers and components of that, but give us an understanding. Give us the behind the scenes look a little bit.
It's interesting. So being in this space now in sports and stuff for 20 plus years. Soccer was a little different because literally in MLS, if you start and finish, you could have a 10-month season. They would start in February, they could go all the way to the championship and end in December. When I was in baseball, it's like, what do you do the other 6 months of the year? Because baseball season only. So now I'm in golf, and they're like, wait, you work 52 weeks for 1 week a year? And I'm like, actually we do. Now the way our company is set up, we'll ship out. Like I'll have operations people from AdventHealth come to Kansas City to support for our event, and I'll do the same. I'll go to Springfield, Illinois for a couple weeks, and I'll provide support for that event. But so really, it's there's a professional golf tournament here, and that's what a lot of people we've continued to educate that we are a professional golf tournament. A lot of times we get lumped in with a charity golf tournament on Monday, but we are a golf a PGA Tour sanctioned event, the only one here in Kansas City. We are a week-long event. We have pro-ams on Monday, Wednesday. We have the professionals play for 4 days. And around that, what we really sell is branding, naming rights, sponsorship, hospitality, experiential stuff on the golf course. So, our two main holes, we'll have on the 18th hole, we'll have our Champions Club. It is a shared hospitality space. So businesses, companies, individuals can buy all you can eat, all you can drink, come out and watch golf. We're in the upstairs this morning at Blue Hills Country Club, sitting in the Centennial Room in the dining areas. But this is where Champions Club people and guests can bring their guests and have food and beverage that's provided by the club or prepared by the club, so it's top notch. And then you go out to the 14th hole, and it's a little bit more of the We're nowhere near the 16th at Waste Management, but it's a little bit of that feel. It's a par 3. And we'll sell 16 to 18 suites out there, and food and beverage included. So you're really looking for experiences on the course and finding the right spot and giving people the right opportunities. We feel on the Korn Ferry Tour our value add is just second to none when it comes to price per entertaining a guest. So we'll build hospitality structures on the 14th hole, the 18th hole out here, in conjunction with AdventHealth. We'll have a small tent that will be set up, B. Smith Family Center. We'll have some concessions, and we'll have a couple bleachers and that type of stuff. So it's really what you see on TV when it comes to the PGA Tour. It's just at a smaller scale for what our market bears at this point in time.
Yeah, I can remember I was fortunate enough when I was in Chicago. I was assistant golf professional at a golf course called the Glen Club, and it was a stop on what was then, I believe, the web.com tour, but is the Korn Ferry Tour.
Right.
It became the Bank of America Open for them, but that was basically their largest purse, I believe, was up in Chicago at the time. That would have been like 2006, 7, 8, 9, around that time. And I can always remember how it really, when the tour came in, it just felt like a well-oiled machine, first off. Like, it didn't feel like it was a disruptive week to our members at all. And then the other thing is what a value for your dollar to see some really great golfers up close. And it's just amazing to me.
It really is. And that's one thing that we, it's hard to sell. It's not hard to sell. It's hard to sell when it comes to, okay, well, what guys are coming in? Well, Tiger's not coming in. Scheffler's not coming in, but he's been here, right?
Right,
he was on our tour in 2019. Cameron Young is not coming in, but he won here in 21. He was our champion in 21 and went on to win the next week, ironically, in Chicago.
Yeah.
And then, played last year on the President's Cup, I believe, right? And he's ranked 13th or 14th in the world. I don't know if he was on the President's Cup or not, but he's one of the top-ranked players in the world, and he played here in less than 2 years ago. He became our champion. So, these guys are good. When you think about professional golf, when you think about Major League Baseball, 32 teams and 30 guys suiting it up. You got 900 guys suiting it up every day. Every week in professional golf, when it comes to the men's side, you've got 156 on the PGA Tour typically and 156 on our tour. So that's only 312 playing opportunities. These guys are good. What we've always been told, and I think if you look at it, and you guys probably follow this really closely, you take the top 20, 25 guys, they're there. They're your Schefflers, they're your John Rahms. But then you take 26 to 150 and then take the 100 and 150 on our tour. Those guys can win any single day. I don't even want to try his name, but Ashta.
Oh gosh.
Yes. So he
you can stop there.
Yeah. So he's a Korn Ferry Tour member, and he went and he Monday qualified into the Honda. I believe it's the Honda. Finished second, and now he's got conditional status on the PGA Tour the rest of the year. So we won't even see him in Kansas City. Right. And a funny side note is he travels with this adorable dog, and we went and got a partnership. We landed a partnership for doggy daycare for players to bring their dogs into town, and so he was the main reason we were doing it. And now he's not even coming.
You hear that? You should have come.
Yeah.
He's an avid listener from what we hear.
He probably is. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's a follower.
Yeah, but I think that's a great point though, because everybody's like, Korn Ferry, what the heck is that tour? But you're absolutely right. Somebody who wins the tournament today could be winning on the PGA Tour next year.
Don't they win twice or twice in a row? Oh,
three times.
Well,
three times in the one season gets you an automatic
That's right.
exemption
Okay.
into the tour.
Yeah. It's called the Battlefield Promotion.
Yeah.
We actually, my first year, our champion was, I believe, Wesley Bryan. And if I'm correct, it was either, whatever year it was, Wesley Bryan got his Battlefield Promotion here in Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
And so that would have been, I'm sorry, I don't know the year, but 15 or 16. And then most recently, the most recent Battlefield Promotion is just an outstanding young golfer that we're all disappointed he's not on the PGA Tour anymore. He jumped ship. But Mito Pereira, he got the Battlefield Promotion, and now he's obviously a member of a different golf organization playing golf. But
think of what that organization civilization is.
Right, exactly. So anyway, but you're right. I mean, these guys are, I mean, they're so good. And what's great about these guys is you have the opportunity on a Korn Ferry tour to really get up close and personal with these guys.
Yeah.
They know that their opportunities to play golf are limited, and they know when they come to Kansas City or they go to our event in Chicago or Springfield or Colorado Springs, whatever event they go to, they know that, you know, they're there and they get that playing opportunity because of sponsors and community members and club members and everything like that. So we're really trying to do a lot to continue member engagement, to engage members with the players. You know, our Pro-Am experience is to be able to play 9 or 18 holes with 4 amateurs and a pro and get up close and personal is just unique. You know, they will visit hospitality areas. When we have we partner with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Kansas City, and we'll have an event right here in this room. We're sitting in with them. And we'll have a couple players stop up and interact. And
that's amazing.
Just they are very engaging. They'll visit hospitality spaces for us and interact with our clients. And it's not that you lose that when you go to the PGA Tour, but there's just a lot more time commitment. There's a lot more going on in their lives than when we're here. So we just have a really unique opportunity to get up close and personal with these guys at this level.
Yeah, and I think people, first off, like, people don't realize, I think to Dave's point earlier, of how good they truly are, and then what they're trying to manage on. I mean, they're managing themselves to get to all these tournaments. I mean, maybe not the top 25, but a lot of these guys, it's a, I hate to say the word the struggle, but it's a grind, and that's not a, I mean, I think there's another, Matt Gianella does a nice little YouTube videos that talks about the grind and what these guys are going through, and women too, of what they're trying to do to become professional golfers and get onto the PGA Tour.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I'm sure you guys have watched it, Full Swing.
Yeah.
That gives you a great look. And I haven't got to episode 7 yet because I've been trying to slow my roll with it because I didn't want to watch it all in one weekend. But episode 7, I think, is Mito Pereira, and it's a lot. I'm told it's a lot about the Korn Ferry Tour and the grind. And so I think that's what, you see these, you start off in episode 1 and you see JT and Spieth on a plane and they're flipping cards for $1,000 if you guess the card. And I mean, that's truly it's a complete different grind. So I think if they did truly what some of these guys go through to be on this tour, and their caddies, to be on this tour and try and make a go in professional golf. All the purses on the tour this year are now a minimum of $1 million. So there's even more of a commitment to the Korn Ferry Tour. So, the winner will come here and play and walk away with $180,000, 18% of that. So those
not
purses are growing.
A few days' work.
Yeah, not bad for a few days' work, right? Yeah. So, but if you make the cut and probably gonna walk home with $1,500 for a week's work or 4 days' work. So
if you don't make the cut, you don't get any. You lost money on the venture.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's the craziest thing to me that I think a lot of people just don't understand. If they watch Full Swing, you don't make the cut, you lose money. There's no guaranteed paycheck out here, and that's why. Several years ago, I volunteered for the event. I was a standard bearer. I think that's what you called it, and. I watched a guy have the most up and down day possible. It was the worst twosome to be the standard bearer for because I'm constantly digging out numbers and switching them around.
Birdie. Yeah.
But watching the shots that those guys could hit to get those bogeys and birdies and things like that, because those bogeys could have very easily been, if it was me, a quadruple bogey, right? You just don't really understand the level of golf these guys could play.
Oh, no.
Because the common person will think, well, it's not the PGA Tour. Why is it worth my time? These guys are just a step behind those guys, and to me, coming out there and being that close to the players was just an amazing experience. And we'll probably talk more about needing volunteers and stuff out here for that reason. But, any opportunity you get to be that close to players of that caliber, you should absolutely take that opportunity.
Yeah, I can give you examples of that. Of like Jason Day, I think, joined the PGA Tour in 2008, and he was at the LaSalle Bank Open, I believe, in 2006, 2007 when it was there. And first off, the 18th hole at the Glen Club is a par 5 that kind of snakes, and it has a lake around it. It's very similar to maybe like Bay Hill, the finishing hole at Bay Hill. Those guys were hitting 3 woods off the tee and then going for the green. And I'd never seen a member.
Right.
I'd never been able to do that. And it was just crazy to sit there, and they had a really great perspective of where you could see them drive the ball and then you could see them attempt to go for it. It was just so much. That's what I'm getting to. That I was trying to get at originally, was talking about the fact of like your price per dollar or shots per dollar or quality of golf per dollar, however you want to say it, is just incredible to come and see some of these guys that are super grinding to get out and get to what their dream is, and help them get their dream. Come watch them play.
Right.
So cheer them on.
Yeah. It certainly is. It's so unique, and it's a cool thing to be a part of. Right. You know, this is the one where we'll congratulate our champion when Cameron Young won, and you shake his hand and he's driving out of the parking lot. The one thing you never can say to these guys, or you never want to say to these guys, is see you next year. Because nothing against Kansas City, they don't want to be here next year. They want to be on the big tour. And so we're kind of that route to get them there. And, we're unique this year. The last couple of years, we've had a lot of the top guys take our event off because it's such a grind of a season. But the way we set up this year, our event is after a 2-week off period. Ooh. So we expect that we'll have the strongest field we've ever had. We're opposite the PGA Championship. There's not a secondary event on the PGA Tour. So our field will be probably as strong. The Korn Ferry Tour also kind of they restructured this year. In the past, we've had 2 seasons, a 23 event season where we gave out 25 player cards, and then we had the three event season that we gave out 25 tour cards. This year, it's one long season. We're giving out 30 cards, and they did that because, without getting into the structure of how it goes, but there used to be numbers 126 to 200 would drop down and play in the Korn Ferry Tour finals. Right. They no longer do that. They have additional playing opportunities in the fall that focuses on them on the PGA Tour. So literally we're going 30 events from start to finish. So these guys really can't afford to miss an event because you never know when you're going to miss a cut and play horribly, have 2 weeks off and come to Kansas City and be our champion type stuff.
So hear that? Everyone on the Korn Ferry, you should come here.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Now, they accumulate points like in the FedEx Cup standings to be in the rankings.
Yes, right? So that change probably was in 2019, maybe our first year here at Blue. They went from dollars, it used to be based on earnings, to a similar point system. So yeah, they accumulate points, and that's how they'll know. When we get to, we'll get to 10, 12 events in the season, and they'll know a threshold that you've got to be at. They probably already know it now. You know, if it's 600, I think last year it was right around 750 cards, or 750 got you in the top 25 to get you your tour card, and then of course that gives you starts, a certain amount of starts on the PGA Tour. The PGA Tour has a wraparound season where they start in the fall, so those are really heavy new player type stuff. Like I mentioned, the Bermuda Championship, our event over there, which is a full-fledged PGA Tour event now, full FedEx Cup points, no opposite week event. We used to have an event the opposite week, and so that's full FedEx Cup points, I believe. Yeah. Now, what you'll see there is you'll see a lot of young guys that just got their tour card. Bermuda's not the easiest to get in and out of, but we have a fabulous event there. It's a shorter event because of the time of day and the daylight. 132 players, I believe, is what we have. But that's what you'll see. These guys get their tour cards, and that's the thing about these guys that come and win on the Korn Ferry Tour and get their cards. They don't have a break. I mean, if you finish top 26 to 75 on the Korn Ferry Tour, you can just go practice and hang out because you don't have to go to Q school. You're on the tour the next year, so you can be done in October at our finals and then start teeing it up in January. Versus these guys that get their cards, they're going to October. They're going to get their card. They're going to start playing somewhere in September on the big tour.
Money,
yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. They want to keep their card.
Points.
So what stop is here at Blue Hills then in terms of the 30 events?
So 26 events. 30 cards. I believe there's a reshuffle, couple events for us. So I think we're the 9th, possibly 9th or 10th stop on the tour.
So your point of like when they're getting their points, they're starting to know where they need to get to and maybe planning out their year a little bit differently as their points are coming in.
Yeah, and we'll have obviously a full field of 156, but if I venture to guess, unless there's someone injured or they already know that they're in a good spot, we'll have, the top 50, 60, 75 on the points list will all be here.
Yeah.
Because it's just, it's every week you got to make a cut and get some points, and that's just how they accumulate. So.
And I know they're all your favorite players, but is there any that are particular that you're most excited maybe to potentially see in person, but then I guess see in person and play, but then also maybe play around here?
So there's a guy that's he's been up and down and just one of the nicest human beings, but I never want to see him again, but his name's Rob Oppenheim. And if you follow Rob is just a class guy. But I want Rob to get on the PGA Tour and stay on the PGA Tour. But
you don't want to say see you next year. You want to say bye.
You're exactly right. But, that's a great example. But we've had some great guys, and I first started in 2015. I started in this in 2016. We had a giving back breakfast, and I had the opportunity. He was on the Korn Ferry tour at that point in time. I had the opportunity to pick up Keith Mitchell at the airport and drive him to the event, go to dinner with him, drive him, to our event in the morning and everything like that. And just, a class dude that is, obviously big on cashmere sweaters now that he's on the PGA Tour. That's his thing. But Keith, he was so good and has been so good to us, and has just been a great friend of the event. So, a lot of the guys I know or that we know have moved on. But again, every one of these guys that come in here, we do our best to take care of them and their caddies and just put on a first-class event here in Kansas City. And there will be, if I would have been a little more prepared for you to ask me that, I know there's 4 or 5 or 6 guys that we just love. The thing I'll tell you is I've been doing this now, so whatever, this will be my 8th event. And every year I go through pairings. We have pro-ams, and we have to pair up pros with players. And I can't think of a time, and there's a lot of nationalities on this tour.
Yeah.
And I can't think of a time where I had a customer or a client come back to me and say, hey, you put that guy with me and he was an absolute dud. Now, you may have a player that may not speak as much English, but I will tell you that caddy typically does, and the caddy carries the show. And a lot of times caddies are better because they've got better stories, they're more engaged and everything like that. So
I know when Pete played in a Pro-Am several years ago, he really got a kick out of their caddy.
Yeah. Well, they see everything, and it's crazy.
They see everything, and most caddies, they get it. They're into it, and they'll get a feel early on of what type of group they have and how much color they can add to the commentary throughout the day. And so but it's just it's
the players should rank their groups
right
too. Yes. Hey Rick, I had a real dud of a group out there.
Right. That is true. That is true. So, but anyway, it's just that's what we do. It's just we take business partnerships and relationships and we put them in front of these guys that are just trying to make it. And the Pro-Am, the way that's structured is the top guys are always required to play. Mm-hmm. So we have 52 teams in our Wednesday Pro-Am. So you're going to have the top. Now we play one. We do 2 pros per nines, or one for the front 9, one for the back 9. So we'll actually use 104 pros. So typically, the top 50 guys, the ones that are closest to getting their tour card, there are groups that are going to be playing with them, and so we'll get requests. But it's awesome. I always have clients come back to me and say, well, you need to put me with this guy because the last 5 years, the guy that I've played with has got their tour card. So I'm clearly the reason they're getting their tour card. They're learning,
setting them up for success.
They're learning from me during the Pro-Am, but what they really don't realize at times is you're going to be playing with some of the top guys anyway because there's no limited field. So
talk a little bit about the housing. Like these players are looking for places to stay, right? As they come in.
Yeah, 100%. So we have some hotel partnerships, and some of the guys, want to be in a hotel and may have families and that type of stuff. But when you look at an event like this, it literally, Dave mentioned earlier, and we'll probably get into it, but volunteers. It's volunteers for everything. Dave, from your side of the business, Logan, our superintendent here, is looking for courses to loan out a guy or two during the week. So it's as in the weeds or in the turf, literally, as much as that is. And then player housing, we have a chair for player housing, and we'll get requests. The way the events operate is we have what we call a tour links, and the players go there and they look at hotels, events, things going on during the week, just certain things that are going to happen during the week. And so we'll have on our player links, we'll have our player housing. And, we've been around an event long enough, and some of these guys, unfortunately, don't get off the tour right away. They come to Kansas City 2 or 3 or 4 times, so they may have established housing. So they go directly to them. So we don't track it as much, but we probably, between players and caddies, already have had 30 to 40 requests for player housing.
Wow.
And like I said, it's great to have a player with you because you never know if you're going to have the Scotty Scheffler or the Cameron Young staying with you. Yeah. But at the same time, I go back to the caddies. I have guests or volunteers or people that have hosted caddies coming back to and saying, oh my gosh, I want to host caddies every year because it's just, again, they'll sit around and interact and just have a great time with you. A lot of times players are a little more focused. They're in the grind, as we talked about, versus caddies are a little more laid back and will sit. But, so from
it's just a fun week.
Yeah. So player housing, if people are interested in player housing, they can email us through the website, and we'll get them connected with our player housing chair. We have a volunteer structure. We have several committee chairs, from on-course services to player services, all those type of things. It takes, Dave mentioned a little bit ago, we're looking for almost 600 volunteers.
Yeah.
And what's unique, and we hear it a lot, but, to volunteer for this event, it's going to cost you. But it's going to cost you $50. But for that $50, you're getting an Adidas polo, you're getting a Puka cap, you're getting food and beverage, you're getting general admission tickets, and if you volunteer for 12 hours, you get to play around at Blue Hills in the fall when we have our volunteer play day, and we'll have food and beverages that day. So it's 10. It may not be tenfold, but it's 6 or 7-fold for your $50 that you're getting back. So and it's everything. If you want to be out on the course, obviously marshals. We talked before we started the show about this course. There are a lot of blind shots on this course, so marshals and on-course support is our number one need. Ideally, we'd love. We have so many great golfers. People that love golf. We have so many courses in Kansas City. We have 18 holes out here during the tournament. If we had 18 courses that said, "Hey, I want to marshal this and marshal this," now we've got a great crop of marshals and chairs and hole captains that we've had for years, but we're always looking for more. It's golf is kind of evolving. You want to keep a newer base of volunteers coming in to work with the ones that are more veteran and stuff, so we can keep stuff rolling.
That's amazing. Yeah, I've volunteered on both sides. I was assistant superintendent as well for a period of time, and I actually got to mow 17 and 18 at Lionsgate when it was the KC Classic over there. Yeah. Okay. So it was pretty interesting, and then it's been incredible. And then to be on the other side, to be, a marshal or whatnot, it's just fun. And $50, you're definitely getting your money's worth, or tenfold. I would say tenfold. I mean, you get to come out here and play one round. That's worth it, in my opinion. Yeah.
It totally is. It totally is. It's funny. You mentioned mowing. I had an opportunity with our title sponsor to go down a couple weeks ago to TPC before the players. I did not realize that, I'm in the rough all the time, but I'm in the rough, and I'm like, what are these lines in the rough? And they're like, oh, they hand mow the rough for the 8 weeks leading up to the tournament. They got like 20 mowers out there, and they're hand mowing thousands of yards of rough. And I'm like, we're not having you do that out here. You're still on the tractors out here. So if you want to come help Logan Spurlock and our crew during the event, you may have some hand mowing, but it's around the greens. And it's certainly not the rough.
It's reduced amount of
7,000 yards of rough out
They're still on tractors. I love that. That's a great Kansas, or I guess Kansas, Missouri statement right there. We're still on tractors here.
John Deere Green or Toro, whichever it is out here.
Oh my gosh.
So, before we got started, you had mentioned why this stop on the tour is so unique compared to some of the other stops. What is it about Blue Hills that makes this the unique presence it is on the tour?
So what we hear from the players pretty regularly, and especially when we move to Blue Hills, is that this is a championship style course. And there are a lot of courses in Kansas City that are championship style courses. But what the players love about this, and especially some of the players that have been on this tour and around as a professional a little bit longer, is they love that this course has a lot of character. It's unique. There aren't a lot of straight shots. You have to think about your shots on this course. You have to, you just can't go out there and bomb it. You can't go, I mean, yeah, maybe there's a couple holes that you can go out there and just hit it as long and as straight as you can, but there's a lot of left to right. There's a lot of right to left here. And so I think the players really see it as a championship course. And as we sit here and look out over the course, the one thing that this course has is a lot of trees. There's a lot of trees. They've done a great job of cleaning up over the past couple of years, of eliminating some trees that affect growth on greens and fairways and tee boxes. But really, it's an older school course versus all the links and all the newer style courses today that you see that you just go out and hit the ball and you've got a lot of room for error right and left. There's not a lot of room for error here. And I will tell you, with this event being in May, we typically are pretty wet in May. We had a really good year last year, but there's not a lot of play the ball as is, and we haven't had that. So we're really anxious for a year where the rough is growing out, where it's a little bit drier, where the ball will run through the fairway and land in the rough. Right now there's a lot of lift clean in place. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure in the 4 events we've had here, this will be our 4th. So 3 events we've had here, 12 rounds. If we've had 1 or 2 that wasn't lift clean in place, I would be surprised. Just with the moisture and stuff we have, it seems to me, not to get into global change and that type of stuff, but it seems to me that like May has become the new April type stuff. April showers are now May showers type stuff. So, but I think that's it. I think they just love that it's a little bit different than the normal courses they see out there, and you got to think a lot, and you've really got to just grind more so than what you normally would.
Yeah.
And then that ties into the Pro-Am, where the pros are probably trying to still figure that out on day 3 of practice.
Yeah, it's interesting. So we have tremendous member support here at Blue, and so you'll get there will be a lot of members that host players, and so they're always wanting course knowledge. As with any golf course, you have a lot of intricacies and undulations on the green, and you have all these different things that you can come in here and play for a week and not realize, but members have been playing out here for years, and they know. On this side of the course, on 10 through 18, there's water. There's water by the 13th, 14th green, and members will tell you that everything breaks towards the water. Right. Even if you believe that, if you're looking at that saying that's going left, you have to remember that there's water on the right, so it's naturally going to go towards that the way it drains. So players, there are players that end up with members in the Pro-Am that are members of Blue Hills, have been playing here for years, and they'll learn something that them and their caddy aren't going to learn during the regular practice round. So I think it's unique this year. I mentioned having the 2 weeks off before. I think we'll have more requests for players to try and get in here early. Our Monday will be a big day. Normally it's a travel day. You wrap up on a Sunday, you travel on Monday to your next site. I think we'll have guys in on Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, wanting to get looks at this course, which is not typically the norm for us. So
excited. It's building the excitement already.
Yeah,
so.
trying for sure.
What do you think? What do you think the number is this year? Then, what's your prediction?
Oh my gosh! Let's see. We're Gellerman won at 11. Cameron was 15 or 16. I mean, I would love a year that we get down around 5, 6, 7. But
difficult.
Absolutely. That's what we want. The rough out here will be so juicy, and if they can if we just get the right weather, that ball can run a little bit and run through the fairway into the rough. It's a game changer. It really is. It really is. So, I think 11 is the hardest it's been so far. I'm a guy. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it in the 1 to 5 to 6 under range. But who knows? See, these guys are so good that they're going to figure out a way, and they'll play well here. So I'll say 9 under is what's going to.
Okay.
I'll go 9.
Yeah.
I don't know why I went 9.
So. That's okay. It's just a guess.
Right.
That'll be interesting. I think I think we want a wet growing April then a dry May for you, and then let's recover after that and get some more rain in June, early June. Speaking from
we want it spaced out instead of all in one month
week.
and then nothing, and then all in another month later in the year.
You both know this, being in the golf world as long as you, but really all that matters are the greens.
Exactly.
They just want the greens rolling. Yep. The greens out here, the greens right now are already in phenomenal shape. I know they just cut them for the first time this last week. And they'll get ready to drill and fill and do that stuff here in a week or two, and so they'll be rolling really, really nice come May. And that's the guys, they'll get around the fairway, they'll get around the tee boxes. Really what they want is they want the ball rolling good on the green. That's what's most important
for sure.
And you guys hear it from members all the time. So
and so give us the final little, how do people get tickets? Give us a breakdown. What can they do to make sure that they come out here?
Well, go online, AdventHealthChampionship.com. We've got tickets available out there. We actually, one of the things that we've rolled out this year is a fundraising program for groups, clubs, high school golf teams, college golf teams. Basically, we're gonna give you GA tickets and you go sell them. GA tickets are $10 to get in. We're going to give you as many GA tickets as you can sell, and you'll keep 50% of those profits. So if you go sell 100 GA tickets at $1,000, we're going to give your group $500. So there's a lot of ways to get involved, from volunteering to fundraising and that type of stuff. One of the things we didn't talk about is charity. Our event in the PGA Tour is all about charity. The AdventHealth Foundation is our #1 charity. As a partnership with AdventHealth, but we also have a Play It Forward program where this year we have 12 charities that can raise funds, and we have basically what I would call a matching funds partner in the Cockrell Family Foundation. So they'll give funds to match what you raise as a group, and so we've got 12 charities this year. They're around behavioral health and behavioral health around cancer treatment and making sure that people have the support and need around mental and behavioral health. So that's a charity component, but getting back to it, everything we sell, there's a portion that goes back to charity, and that's what's great about working in golf, and that's what I love about it. So you can go online and find out more. We still have pro-am teams on both Monday, Wednesday. We have Jamie Lovemark coming back this year, who's been on the PGA Tour. He won here in 2013 or 14. But Jamie's coming back, and his foundation's going to be our Monday Pro-Am, and they're going to partner with AdventHealth to give funds back there. But we've got Pro-Am opportunities, sponsorship opportunities, naming rights, everything you can think to get involved in, and everything we do is customized. So you reach out to us through the web or give us a call, and we'll find a package that works best for your company. And there's no amount too small, and there's no amount too big. It'd be shameless plug if I didn't say that. But it's just really this is about putting our partners, our clients, our prospects in a venue and an event where you can really spend time developing relationships with existing clients and bringing on new clients and new partners, whether you're in the insurance world or the banking world or the investment world or the construction industry. All those industries, people can get involved and put their name up in lights at a PGA Tour caliber event here in Kansas City.
Lots of exposure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, Rick, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been amazing, in my opinion, of just hearing everything you've. It's obviously you're well versed and have been doing this for a very long time, and we wish you nothing but success with this event. And we'll probably see you here, but probably be volunteering is what I would imagine.
We'll be
doing.
Volunteering. Maybe we need to do a podcast week event, something like that.
Let's do it.
We'll do that. We'll absolutely do that, and maybe get a couple players on with you guys and do some stuff like that if you want to do that. So
let's do it.
I appreciate you guys taking the time.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you for your time.